All right, pay attention to this. This is the appearance of the blinds. As my shadow disappears in front of that door in video, you're looking at this. These are demons that are flying around in helicopters. I just want you to understand the environment that they maintain while they are engaging in what is stalking in that environment. This is the sex offender that's inside of your private space. The light source that you see in the window is not only not the sun as you're looking at it over my head at 11:50 a.m. at the same address. That's not even sunlight that you see all over. This is an iteration of concentrated light that you see every morning, and this is another iteration. And now it's appearing on the ceiling. All right, while I open my door in the shade, you can see my shadow on the ceiling. These are demons that are indeed affiliated with corrupt law enforcement agencies who are monitoring, and this is ongoing terrorism. This light activity that you're seeing inside of a private space is terrorism. This light activity inside of my workspace during the work in the workspace, excuse me, while you're at work on the job, this is terrorism in the workplace, which I'm also documenting. While the entity Speaker Companies is not some independent, company that is within their constitutional rights to exit. No. It's the state. The state is actually the one that is monitoring you via Speaker Companies. So they are in the shoes of the government facilitating. And understand, where I work is where I live. And you are looking at what is an admission to what LAPD is engaging in, to what the Fontana Police Department was engaging in, to what the Ontario Police Department, Montclair. You can fill in the blanks because I've documented that ongoing pattern. And this is absolutely irreconcilable evidence of what is impossible under all circumstances. And it is literally appearing in real time. It wasn't present while I opened the door. My shadow appeared, I captured video. Then you can see it fade off, and this literally appears in real time. This is a sex offender that are the LAPD that are swarming around, flying over me. And then as I capture video, serving to prosecute Fontana PD and LAPD at the same time using a timestamp in the specific environment, what's not going to be the sun over Fontana Lewis Library in the zenith over my head, and Alvarado Gardens at 1810 North Alvarado Street, and with the light source over my head in zenith at the same exact time. The entity is engaging in what is seconds later in that subsequent video where Lorraine Pena is showing impunity, showing exactly why a 76-year-old group stalker that is of demon possession, engaging in terrorism and terrorizing one who is documenting it. She belongs in federal prison. She actually belongs in a mental facility. All right, but she's going to go to federal prison because that's malice. All right, that's a psychopath that does need medical attention, and it's the same with understand the demons that are LAPD. This impossible light activity is prefacing the pattern of conduct that they are engaging in together. Stalking in the environment via helicopter. It is currently 12:28 p.m. This is P.O.C. inside of 1806 North Alvarado Street. This is where the entity was rising the light source. This is the appearance of what is under no circumstances ever going to create what is the pattern of the blinds up on the ceiling above you. This is what you see as my shadow, okay? Sunlight does not come from the sun at a downward trajectory and then create somehow some upward trajectory of light on your ceiling. This is demonic. Okay, you're looking at methods of stalking with light, just like they're stalking in helicopters. The people of the state are covered in engineered light. This isn't even normal light. And none of it would be the result if the sun was directly over the Fontana Lewis Library, where it remained, by the way, until I left. And I've documented that on a day in and day out basis everywhere that I went, never coming to LA. Well, not never, I did come to LA, but and when I documented, and when I did travel, I documented the maintenance of the light source as I remained, for example, in Ontario all day long. And then the light source remains over me literally en route, like on transportation, and the light source remains over me. In which case, it's never going to be over Alvarado Gardens. All right, this is under no circumstances the sun. This is engineered light. This is not sunlight. This is an iteration. This impossible light is what you're looking at covering the grounds. And this demonic light, this demonic behavior of stalking with light, all right, these very disturbing patterns of stalking in a helicopter, that spectacular show of what is an absolute psychopath that happens to be affiliated with police departments, that's demon possession, and it is working outward so that you can witness it, and it's engaging in what is criminal conduct. All right, so I want to be clear. This is in concert with the people who are in that environment. They're not driving on streets looking or going anywhere. They're monitoring me. They know exactly where I'm at. And how do you know that? Because the entity keeps a light source all day long, all right, in direct contradiction to nature. Because the entity targets with method of light activity in direct contradiction to nature. There is nothing natural about that. Okay, that's why. All right, and this is occurring inside of 1806 North Alvarado Street at 12:31 p.m. All right, and this is after capturing an ongoing documentation, and the entity is engaging in more and more terrorism, more and more threats, all right, speaking to exactly what it is that I advocate. You disband those law enforcement agencies. That's amplifying helicopter activity right now. You disband them. All right, they need to be put in straitjackets, and I am not being hyperbolic. These are psychopaths that are out of control, and you are looking at their reaction upon being exposed for the criminal system that they're engaging in. And they do, let me be clear, let me tell you something else. Not only are they monitoring, that's the elements of monitoring, amplified audible activity, they're engaging in what is ongoing cooperative group stalking. The people of the state are maintaining presence, they're monitoring, they're moving all around in the engineer light. But let me tell you about their timing. These demons engage in a pattern. They want me to focus on the helicopter activity and stop talking about the people of the state. And this is what I mean by a delusional psychopath. They are not only engaging in the criminal elements of monitoring in the same exact specific environment, nothing about the facts changes while they provide what is incriminating evidence against the people of the state, because while they are ceaselessly engaged in group stalking and monitoring, they have not gone anywhere. The light activity has not gone anywhere. You're looking at what is impossible light inside of my apartment, the explanation for what the people of the state are doing in relevant position, living in relevant position, living all around while the entity is setting and rising a sun in alignment to me, and then they fly over in helicopter because the entity is in no way capable of what is protecting or silencing silencing me from prosecuting and exposing the people of the state. This is a demon-possessed population. There are many that are, the people of the state are in positions in government. They're in positions in holding jobs in industries in the medical field, okay, around children, and they are psychopaths. They are targeting people on a day-to-day basis. And the entity in every way, while it is still engaging in an ongoing admission of what it's doing, this is what I mean. The obsession is combined with an irrational and delusional desire to try to silence. You're not silencing the target. You're not silencing me by engaging in more of the same. You're going to suffer those same consequences. It's going to be enhanced because you continue to do it, just like any other stalker facing prosecution would be analyzed under the law. That is a very dangerous threat. They need to be restrained. They need to be stopped. They need to be examined. All right. They need to be in every way suffer what are the legal ramifications for threatening someone in that very disturbing manner. This is a government that's doing it, and this is the government. They're not here on an individual capacity. That's why you have the light source over me here. This isn't even sunlight. None of this would result where the sun is over Fontana. Pay attention to what's going on. This is revealing demonic activity. Demonic activity is criminal. Okay? Demonic activity is criminal because this demonic activity is serving to criminally monitor and surround on behalf and in concert with a government who you just saw flying over in helicopter with real-time knowledge of what it is that I'm talking about. Not only are you looking at the ongoing elements of monitoring, pay attention to the timing when the entity engages in these foolish acts which serve to incriminate waste management, serves to incriminate Hector and Maricela, whatever that third-party group stalker's name, present on behalf of Smart Janitorial. It's serving to incriminate them. It's enhancing that prosecution. It's enhancing that punishment. It's enhancing the level of damages, which they will pay for. Understand that. But this is the entity's purpose, and this is a pattern that the entity engages in. The LAPD is in every way becomes a liability. They're obsessively stalking. And so the entity engages in more of the same, as though that's going to thwart your focus from what the people of the state are clearly engaged in. If it was just the Los Angeles Police Department, then LAPD would be surrounding in all the apartments and all the houses. Obviously, that's not what you see. How is the entity maintaining presence all around? Why is an entity maintaining engineered light? You see impossible light. None of this is natural. So I'm not only telling you what, you can see with your own eyes that that's impossible light activity, not the result of the sun. You also know that the sun is not going to rise and still be present. It was 7, 15, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That was 5 hours ago, and it's hovering right here over my apartment. While the Los Angeles Police Department is flying next to the sun, it's hovering over my apartment building, but still, we're not set on fire. The entity is engaging in what is aiming light on the floor through closed blinds, aiming it into the depths of the apartment through closed blinds, and aiming it onto the ceiling through closed blinds in the specific environment. While I continuously document what's not even present, which is the light source, it's not possibly the sun, while it's over my head at the same time, giving you a vivid illustration, while it's over me in Fontana, California, while I'm looking at another demon-possessed law enforcement agency, stalking in your face, in the path, and they're doing it in concert with the people of the state. That's why you have a whole environment that's supposed to look like it's natural. Okay, beyond, above suspicion. That's what it's supposed to look like. This is demonic activity that is criminal, and it shall be criminalized. Okay, this disturbing stalking conduct is highly criminal in every way. Not just the fact that they're doing it, but the satanic methods employed are criminal. Okay, it is currently, again, 12:36 p.m. and this is the maintenance of a light source. You're looking at the people of the state living in relevant position. That's a crime. You'll be prosecuted by virtue of your address. This is ongoing criminal facilitation. And every time that I'm capturing the entity act, group stalking via these corrupt law enforcement agencies, it is enhancing the punishment of the people of the state. And these are in close proximity. I know I can identify them. I know their address, or I know their license plate, or I know their name, their social security number. That's how I'm documenting, and they will be going on a database maintained by the Department of Justice for the exposure of what are group stalkers who will not be able to just move anywhere they want or work anywhere they want. All right, this is understanding what's going on in the United States and for the protection of the American people in order that they be informed, just like any other sex offender that goes on Megan's list, any other terrorist that goes on a list. That's what group stalking is. It's an ongoing threat to the life. It is an ongoing existing emergency for so long as that criminal pattern of conduct is underway. All right, and unfortunately, exposing it and establishing precedent takes a prolonged period of time. All right, but I want to be clear. It is no less of a punishment. None of this is sunlight touching these venues up here. This is an massive exposure of a criminal system. There is no sun that will be touching any of this whatsoever. And you also know that because you see the impossible light activity as I walk through it. I take pictures and videos of it for you so you can witness it. This is speaking to what is a criminal system that's underway. And these corrupt law enforcement agencies are relying on their criminal presence, okay? And do so also through commercial means. That's relevant to what shall be civil prosecution and exposure. Companies that are acting commercially on behalf of the state to facilitate federal group stalking and monitoring, that company is going to be exposed as engaging in what is the sex offense in concert with a public entity, a sex offender. And that's not going to be very marketable. All right, I want to be clear. It is currently 12:38 p.m. and this is the pattern of conduct underway while you see the LAPD group stalking, not coincidentally in relevant position to me inside of my apartment where you're looking at light on my ceiling through closed blinds where the entity is maintaining ongoing iterations of light activity where the people of the state are being documented simultaneously. Okay, this is P.O.C.